Good afternoon, everybody. I call to order the October 7th regular session of the New Kent County School Board meeting. Do I hear a motion to come out of closed session?
So moved.
Mr. Reimer has the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dombrowski has a second. Ms. Davis, please poll the board.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
and Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We are out of closed. Mr. Vaught, would you please read the certification, sir?
Whereas the New Kent County School Board has convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3711 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the New Kent County School Board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the New Kent County School Board hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, one, only public business matters lawfully exempt from an open meeting requirement by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting to which the certification resolution applies. And two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed session were heard, discussed, or considered by the New Kent County School Board.
Thank you, Mr. Vaught. Do I hear a motion to approve the certification of the closed session?
So moved.
Ms. Cunha has the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Dombrowski has a second. Ms. Davis, please poll the board.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Davis, lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we begin tonight's agenda, do I have any motions from the board?
Mr. Chair,
Ms. Dombrowski?
I would like to move to amend the agenda to include the Victims of Communism Memorial Day resolution under number 9, unfinished business, as item C and as an action item.
All right, thank you, Ms. Dombrowski. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ms. Cunha has seconded the motion. That is the motion before us. Before we consider that motion, Ms. Dombrowski, if you would provide some background context as to how we got here, please.
Yes. So at the last school board meeting, I brought this matter up as an item to be considered, and the board voted to approve it. In addition to the resolution, I also was asking for an opportunity to propose the usage of the Victims of Communism Memorial online free curriculum. And I have had the conversation, and because November 9th is occurring before our next school board meeting, I would like the opportunity to discuss passing the resolution itself at this meeting.
Are we to understand then that you are withdrawing the item from consideration with respect to the curriculum piece?
That is correct.
All right, thank you very much for the clarification. All right, Ms. Davis, please poll the board. We are voting on amending tonight's agenda to add the Victims of Communism Memorial Day resolution.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
Mr. Pagano.
Aye. That passes unanimously. That is now added to the agenda for later on this evening. Moving on to our regularly scheduled agenda. Begin with recognitions, school spotlight, the DECA program. Principal Strickland.
Yes, sir. All right, we're starting with DECA, but I must say this is a New Kent High School party here tonight with our faculty members and many of our athletes and Senior of the Month. So I'm incredibly excited to be here this evening. So good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, school board members, Dr. Nichols, and guests. As New Kent High School principal, I am incredibly proud to recognize our DECA chapter as this month's spotlight. DECA met with the board in the spring of 2023, so we are following back up after their inception a year and a half later. We would like to shine the spotlight on DECA, particularly this month, due to their growth in membership, their recent achievements, new projects, and they will discuss some of their future plans. DECA prepares emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management in high schools and colleges around the world. We have experienced tremendous growth since bringing DECA to New Kent High School. After starting last school year with only one returning member, now that was due to graduating seniors and student transfers, our member recruitment efforts last year brought in 19 new members for a total of 20 members for the 24-25 school year. We just celebrated our second anniversary last month in September. So for this current school year, we have already 37 paid members, which is an 85% increase already from last school year. This growth represents our initial membership roster, and to note that registration, continues through mid-November for students at the high school. At this time, I would like to introduce Miss Amy Walters. She is here with us tonight. She is our marketing teacher and our DECA advisor in the Career and Technical Education Department. Alongside, she will introduce her DECA members to again discuss their achievements, projects, and plans in detail. Ms. Walters has 30 years of experience in marketing. It is her 18th year in public education, and that includes a tenure in both K-12 schools and higher ed. So without further ado, Ms. Walters.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Strickland, and thank you to our school board and our superintendent today for having us and recognizing. As Ms. Strickland mentioned, this is our second anniversary just a couple of years ago, and it's been our pleasure to introduce this Career and Technical Student Organization, which is a co-curricular organization to New Kent County. I'm pleased to have a number of our second year members and our student leaders with us today. Y'all will come on up. We have our DECA president, who is Landon Evans. Our vice president is Dylan Holloway. And our VP team, officer team of marketing is Gamble Austin. Hospitality is Carter Brooks. Caitlin Andrews is our community outreach. And then Kaylee Nugent is our school store operations. A few words about some of the activities that they've been involved in.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Landon Evans. As she just said, I'm the president of New Kent High School DECA. I'm going to touch on competition growth a little bit, but you're going to hear a little bit about what we do from each individual in different sections of what we do. So what I'm going to talk about specifically was our trip to internationals last year, which was the first time New Kent had ever sent any kids to this in general. Last year, we sent 4 kids to represent New Kent at the international level to Orlando. And we sat through leadership training from internationally recognized speakers that taught us lessons on how to come back to our clubs and build upon that and build our growth, which, as you can see, we've been very successful in and such. And we talk about state competitions and recently what we've done with awards. Dylan Holloway.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dylan Holloway. I'm the vice president of DECA. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the state fair and about how we've improved a lot since last year. So last year we had 3 people qualify for the state level, which means that they got to go to Virginia Beach and participate in competition in the higher ups. And this year we've had 7 people qualify. 4 of them were first-time DECA members, and 3 of them are returning. So we've improved more than double than last year. So I'm going to give it to Gamble Austin.
Good afternoon, y'all. My name is Gamble Austin. I'm the Vice President of Marketing here at New Kent High School DECA. I'm going to talk a little bit about here our growth and our development as a chapter. So at New Kent High School DECA, we promote our success with different chapter activities. One as being the New Kent Christmas Mother, which is an organization that helps give Christmas presents out during Christmas time. With this and other organizations, we can help develop our growth as a DECA chapter and keep recruiting people against more. Carter Brooks, that's all now.
Good evening. I'm Carter Brooks, Vice President of Hospitality, and I'm here to talk about the statistics. New Kent High School DECA has increased 85% since last year, and we're on track to double by the end of November. I'm going to pass it on to Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Andrews. I am Vice President of Community Outreach. I have a partner. His name is Nicholas Rice. He was unable to make it tonight. Community service or community outreach is our new leadership role this year in DECA. Our goals are to kind of, promote more of community outreach to our DECA members. We did have some last year. But since we have more members this year, we're trying to, more community outreach. We participate in things like the Grand Illumination with Parks and Rec. Like Gamble Austin said, our Christmas Mothers at the church. And our most recent or our most upcoming one is next Tuesday with Opportunities Night. And I'll pass it on to Kaylee Nugent.
Good evening. My name is Kaylee Nugent. I am in charge of school store operations, and that entails showing our school spirit and being able to fundraise for the school by selling various apparel. And we've raised over $700 last year in school funds, and we hope to double that this year.
Thank you very much. And I did want to take a minute and congratulate, you might see two medals, blue medals over here with Dylan and with Landon. They were 2 out of 7 of our winners last Wednesday at the State Fair at DECA Day. We had a competition. We had a team of winners for our promotional pitch deck competitive event. And then we had 2 other sets of winners, both in the first time role play team decision making event. So that promotes some of our soft skills, our 21st century skills like problem solving, critical thinking. So thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right, next item is Athlete of the Month, Dr. Nichols.
All right, so I have the pleasure of introducing the September Athletes of the Month. So I will read a little bit about you before you come up for your certificate. So our first September Athlete of the Month is none other than Chase Wiles, who is ready for prom right now. Looking really sharp there, Chase. Chase is one of our senior captains on the Trojan football team. He plays offense and defense, including linebacker, running back, tight end, wide receiver, quarterback, and yes, I saw this in person, kicker. So I did see him come off the field like half the time. Chase is top in the state in Class 3A in tackles with 69 so far. So we're 6 games in. Has over 150 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving. He's run a 2-point conversion in, which was a fascinating play to watch, and caught a critical touchdown pass. In addition to football, Chase is also a member of our New Kent High School wrestling team that's qualified for states several times. He plans to follow the enrollment pathway. He'd like to continue playing football at the next level, and right now, according to what I'm reading, Virginia Military Institute or Christopher Newport University, CNU, which produces amazing graduates. No bias there. He would like to major in engineering. He excels in his dual enrollment courses and honors classes. He currently has a 3.5692 GPA. So even though he's the Athlete of the Month, he's also quite academic. He is the son of Harry and Kim Wiles, who are here with us tonight and are doing double duty because as soon as I finish talking about Chase, they're leaving to see the volleyball game where their daughter is playing. So Chase Wiles, everyone. All right, our next senior of the month is not here because she's playing volleyball. So our next senior of the month, I do want to tell you about her, is Leah Rounds. She's a senior captain on the volleyball team. She's a team leader and holds herself and her teammates accountable. This year, she moved from her position as a front row only middle hitter, where she received many statewide accolades, to an all-around position as an outside hitter. Her commitment to teammates is extraordinary. During the second game of the season against Pocosin, Leah obtained her 500th kill. In addition to volleyball, she's also a member of the NKHS softball team. She plans to attend Richard Bland College, where she will continue playing volleyball with hopes of becoming an ultrasound technician. She excels in dual enrollment and honors level coursework. Right now, she has a 3.856 GPA. She is the daughter of Dan and Jen Rounds, who both also for Team UCAT. So even though she's not here, round of applause for Leah Rabbits.
All right, Dr. Nichols, moving on, Senior of the Month.
Absolutely. So I'm gonna say a little bit about him, but I think he has some things to say to us too. Is that correct, Adam? Okay. I'll do the embarrassing part first, Adam. So we have our first Senior of the Month, Adam Ayala, who is a senior at New Kent High School. He is the son of Juan and Sarah Ayala. He is a prominent member of the New Kent High School wrestling team, where he served as captain and two-time National Wrestling Coaches Association Scholar All-American. He has also played football. He is kicking our extra points and field goals. He's a member of Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Senior Class Government Association president, where his goal is to leave his mark at New Kent High School. He is also a leader in the classroom, excelling in 5 dual enrollment courses. He has worked hard to maintain a 3.8857 GPA. Board members, it's my honor to bring to the podium Adam Ayala.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, school board members, Dr. Nichols, and guests. I am Adam Ayala, and I am a senior at New Kent High School. I'm honored to be a part of New Kent's Early College Academy, where I'm working towards graduating with both my high school advanced diploma and my associate's degree. This program has pushed me to grow as a student, as a leader, and has helped me prepare for the future. For me, going to college is an important step because it gives me the chance to build on what I've learned, discover new opportunities, and prepare myself for a meaningful career. In the short term, my plan is to attend a university to study economics or financial management. In the long term, my dream is to work for the U.S. Department of the Treasury, where I can strengthen our country's economy. College will give me the foundation I need to reach those goals and make a lasting impact. Over the past 12 years, I've attended 10 different schools across the country. Each one has shaped me in some way, but New Kent has felt the most like home. The school has taught me the most, both in and out of the classroom, and the teachers and staff have truly made the difference. I'd like to thank Mr. Salinetro for teaching me to enjoy the process, Mr. Goodbody for reminding me to always have fun in what I do, and Mr. Fitzgerald for encouraging me and helping me stay focused with my goals. Their support has shown me why New Kent is such a special place, and why it's felt more like home than any other school I've attended. Before I close, I'd like to thank Principal Strickland for selecting me for this award. I am truly honored, and I also want to thank her for always being helpful when it comes to approving and implementing my presidential ideas, and also being an active member of New Kent's community. Her support has really made the difference for me and my fellow classmates. Finally, thank you to my family for always supporting me and being with me here tonight. Thank you all for your time, and have a great evening.
That's our president right there.
All right, Dr. Nichols, the 2025 Teacher of Excellence Award.
You know, it really is New Kent High School's night. So we've honored some incredible students and staff members, and this is a national honor. So tonight we want to recognize Maggie Mallory, who is an outstanding high school English teacher. She was selected by, I need to read it from you, I can't read that far away, by the National Council of Teachers of English affiliates. They honor educators who demonstrate extraordinary classroom practices and meaningful contributions to their school community. And they do not select many across the nation, and they selected our very own Maggie Mallory. So it's an honor to have you here tonight. So please come up and.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Nichols, you are up again, sir, rounding out the next 4 recognitions.
Yes, sir. It is October is National Bullying Prevention Month. So during October, all months, but this is the Spotlight Month, raising awareness, educating the community, and taking action to promote kindness, inclusion, and safety for everyone, both in person and online. Our schools, all 5 schools, have a host of activities throughout October to put a spotlight on anti-bullying. So National Bullying Prevention Month is October, so you will see quite a bit on social media and in our classrooms. The next recognition is National Hispanic Heritage Month. That is celebrated annually, September 15th to October 15th. So we are on the last part of Hispanic Heritage Month. This is celebrated annually to recognize the diverse cultures, histories, and contributions of Americans with roots in Spain, Mexico, Central and South America, and the Caribbean. So our schools have been putting together activities and efforts to highlight and celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month. Our next recognition, October is a busy recognition month, is National School Bus Safety Week. It is held the third week of October each year, designed to promote the importance of school bus safety. So safety first, safety always is the theme this year. Our kids will be doing poster contests. Transportation is doing work in our schools to help promote national school bus safety. And it is also National School Lunch Week. The theme this year is Taste the World. It's your school lunch passport. So October 13th through the 17th. Our food in the cafeteria, in my opinion, is always incredible. But during this week, we invite students to experience and appreciate different global cuisines, fostering a sense of connection and understanding. So we can take a more worldwide view of the lunchroom during this time, during National School Lunch Week. Really appreciate everything that Ms. Parsley and her team do to take care of our students and our staff and a hungry superintendent. So National School Lunch Week, we celebrate this October.
All right, thank you, Dr. Nichols. At this time, the board is going to recess for 5 minutes. So that those that wish to leave may do so. We are in recess. All right, everybody, we are back in session. The next item on tonight's agenda board is the consent agenda. Board members, by now you've had an opportunity to review the items listed in the consent agenda, including the minute meetings from the September 9th, 2025 regular meeting as amended earlier today, monthly financials for the month of August 2025, and the superintendent's recommendation regarding the 46 personnel matters. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Mr.
Second.
Vaught has the motion. Mr. Reimer has the second. Ms. Davis, please poll the board.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
and Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Next item under new business, Mr. Miller, class size report, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Nichols. Each October, it is our responsibility, according to standards of quality, to report to you our class sizes. And so before we jump into what those are, I did want to give you just some context of what they should be. So standards of quality lay out for us the hiring practices and how many teachers we should have based on teacher to student ratios. And so I'm just going to run through them real quickly. So in the elementary, we cannot go above a 24-to-1 in kindergarten, with no class being larger than 29 students. And in grades 1, 2, and 3, you want 24-to-1 with no classes larger than 30. And then in 4 through 6, 25-to-1 with no classes larger than 35. And then finally at 6 through 12, English classes only, you have to have a ratio of 24-to-1. And you'll see as we go through these, we are nowhere near any of the maxes, thankfully. We keep our class sizes at a reasonable amount, and so our students get plenty of attention. So here at Watkins, you'll see we are well within our expected range, the range that we'd like to keep. That fourth grade class or group is a little large there, and that's the highest of our all of our elementary in the division is that 24-to-1. But otherwise, those are all really reasonable. In the upper teens to low 20s is really where we like to sit on our other class sizes. Also, if you look at the top of the slide on each of these, I do have the total population at the school, just for reference, so you know how big our schools are at this point. They have been climbing in size. So total right now at George Watkins 535. New Kent Elementary School is our biggest elementary school at 639. But we do have more teachers there to handle that more students. So our class sizes, as you can see, all hover right there, the upper teens, low 20s, right where we want them. Quinton Elementary School is in the middle with 581. And again, we have plenty of teachers there to handle that number of students. So our class sizes hover right there at 20, the average school-wide.
But just point of clarification, Ross. So in your totals that you're providing there, that includes pre-K. That 581 is.
It does.
Okay.
It does.
Board, we share that number to you two different ways. One is without pre-K because of the state funding piece. We're funded. Okay. But capacity of a building, you have 581 in that building. So, yeah.
Also class sizes, we do exclude some classes that are small in nature, self-contained students with disabilities class. It's going to have much fewer students, so we exclude those from our average class sizes so it doesn't throw off the numbers. New Kent Middle School, again, like the others, is climbing. It's at 842 students currently. So you'll see our number of sections goes up dramatically, quite a bit. But that's also across 3 different grade levels. Our class sizes, again, hovering in the low 20s, which is fully acceptable where we're looking for them, other than PE, which you can accept a larger class there. And New Kent High School, current total building size of 1,065. And our class sizes, again, all below 25 students, history being the highest of 24 as an average class size. And that is all. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Mr. Chair, I was curious, Mr. Miller, what is the capacity at each of the buildings?
Total number of students?
Yes, as far as especially, for example, at the middle school, we're at 852. Would you happen to know more or less?
So Ross really has the class size piece. I could take the capacity size if that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
So New Kent Middle School specifically, you have room for another 100-ish students there. There are ways that we can make it workable. But I've been here, we've had over 900 there. So, but it is,
Is that with trailers or?
yeah, with
Oh,
the
okay.
the two classroom trailer that we have there. Yes, ma'am. What really jams us up at the middle school is really the common area spaces, the hallways, the cafeteria, the gym, those type pieces. That's really the strain on capacity there, in relation to it. So when we talk, capital improvement, one of the things Mr. Hoffman is going to talk about are some options
Yeah.
to increase capacity or look at different routes there.
And the capacity at the high school, is that,
High school, you have,
currently we're at 1065?
yes, ma'am. And you'll go, based on the bubble that's coming through, there are about 310 eighth graders. So when they go into the high school, you'll go over 1,100. You have 300 to 400 more students could be there and you're still in really good shape.
Okay.
You have to schedule differently and do those things, but, with that school being built in 2008, did an incredible job of foresight with capacity. So the high school were really good.
It seems the fourth grade is a large class overall across the elementary schools.
It is, yes. We have certain bubbles, as Dr. Nichols mentioned, like the 8th grade group, the 6th grade group, 4th grade group, are all larger than some of the other grade levels.
And the last question I have, as far as SPED students or classes that have special needs students or SPED students, what is the average size of those classes?
So, it's gonna vary, but I think most of them are 8 or less.
12 or less.
12 or less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a self-contained classroom where they
It's
spend.
self-contained, but if
Yeah.
it's an inclusion, if it's a,
Oh, those are all actually mixed into this.
Oh,
So
great.
the collaborative classes are all part of this. Yes.
If
wonderful.
you're a student with disabilities and you're taking history, you're in that number.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Ball?
what is the number, the trigger number for utilizing trailer space? In other words, at the middle school, are we already utilizing
Yes, we have two classrooms.
two classroom trailers?
Yeah.
So this 852
Yeah.
includes those trailers.
Doing that spectrum.
How about at George Watkins?
George Watkins right now, you have 7 to 8 trailers there that we're currently not utilizing for classrooms. We are doing gifted pullout and different pullout, small groups of kids in there. We are utilizing every other space in that building. We do foresee, and we'll talk about this in CIP as well, moving back into those trailers in the next year or two, the way that George Watkins is growing. When I first got here, when we had 2 elementaries, all of those trailers were utilized. I think 5th grade was out there and those pieces. So we have something we'll propose tonight to try to shift that so we don't grow back into trailers. We have something else in place.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Dr. Nichols, Advisory Committee memberships.
Yes, sir. So I bring this to you annually, so just wanted to share it with you. We've all been running with advisory. The first slide has teacher advisory. So we have 2 members from each school that participate in teacher advisory. Incredibly helpful structure to get thoughts, ideas, things to work on. And they're also the group that sees calendar first or code of conduct and all those different things. So really valuable resource there. The second advisory is community advisory. This is the newest of the advisory set. We have folks in New Kent that don't necessarily have kids. So they're not on parent advisory and they're not staff, but they have a voice. So we opened this up a few years ago. It's very hard to get on community advisory. All you gotta do is let Joanna and I know you want to be there and we'll take you. So we have really good discussions there and it's a great viewpoint working through there. So and the last one is really open invitation as well. And that is parent advisory. So at the end of community advisory and parent advisory, every time I say, if you know somebody that could add value to it, please invite them. We'd love to have them. So that teacher advisory is locked in for the year. The other two is a rotated basis, like you come in and can add people and, so if you have a voice and you want to be a part of it, we're happy to have you, so. So that's, advisories.
Mr.
You have
Chair,
to
I do
answer
have
any
a
questions.
question, and this is just because I'm ignorant. Are these advisory committees considered standing committees, but in a separate category? Because like in our policy, it says we cannot have standing committees. How are these advisory committees different?
Because they're not board driven, they're
Ah, okay.
superintendent driven.
Thank
So
you.
I lead them, they're really for me to get
Mhm.
information, but I share that with you guys. So I think that's the major difference, it's just not.
Thank you for clarifying that, yeah. Mr. Chair?
Mr. Dombrowski.
And just for clarification, can you remind me how the teachers are chosen to serve on that committee?
They're selected by their principals. It's a combination of factors related to it. One, willingness to serve. Two, people that have a voice in the building that will share those opinions. We like to have them for 2 years, because the first year is really getting a feel of what we do. And then we found if we cycled them off after the first year, we were starting over. So, it's a group, some are in their year 2 and some are in their year 1. So it makes it nice to have that piece there.
Anyone else? All right, thank you. Dr. Nichols, you're up again, sir, with the VSBA Policy Services Contract Renewal.
Yes, sir. We've had a lot of conversation about policy. Annually, this renewal comes before the board, so it is that time of the year. To vote on renewing our policy contract through the Virginia School Board Association. So they provide policy updates, they provide policy support, and they also provide legal support related to policy, to all facets of policy. So you see that is the invoice amount of $2,500. So that is the VSBA policy contract. Be happy to answer any questions, but no change.
That's annual, correct?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Mr. Chair, I do have a
Cunha?
question. On page 2 of the policy services agreement, I just need clarification. Maybe, Mr. Pagano, since you're a lawyer, you can explain it to me. It says the board agrees in the event that a sample policy prepared by VSBA is alleged to be not in compliance with relevant laws, to notify VSBA of such allegations within 5 working days of such allegation. It seems like, well, they're the ones, we're paying them $2,500. Shouldn't the policies be lawful or relevant? I mean, I'm just thinking, we're gonna notify them within 5 days that there's something wrong?
I think, can I take the school side of it? It says in
Please.
there alleged, so if somebody comes to you and says this policy is not in alignment, like a citizen or a staff member,
Okay.
you let them know that you have this allegation related to.
So it could be anyone who
Yes, ma'am.
makes the allegation?
Yes.
Okay.
That's kind of my implementation.
Your take
side
on
of
it?
Uh,
Just seems strange.
I think it makes sense from a legal perspective in so much as they want to then, if an allegation is made that a policy that their council has drafted
Mhm.
may not be worded properly or in accordance to a code section, that they have the opportunity to vet it. Right, and then either amend it and update, redraft that policy, which then comes to us, or back it up, right, with case law or judicial decisions that would say, no, it's worded properly.
Okay, that makes sense. And who is the policy contact person?
Ms. Davis.
That's true. Okay. And so you would have to notify them? So everything would go through you? Thank you.
All right, anyone else? All right, moving on. Ms. Morgheim, fiscal year 2025 appropriation of funds.
Mr. Chair, Dr. Nichols. Board members, tonight I am bringing 2 separate, well, a lot of appropriations, but basically I have 2 memos. One is with regards to school nutrition services, and it's really around their year-end balance and looking at their expenditures for the year. They're allowed to carry a fund balance, and the sad part, I believe, is that they're limited to really having that to be 3 months worth of expense. So if they do well and make money and have a reserve, they're not really allowed to hold on to it for a rainy day. They have to spend it down. We have to have a plan that's formal. So we've done that. And Ms. Cunha had asked me about the types of equipment. Please know that we're not just out buying stuff because we have to. It's meaningful and impactful. So you've noticed the metal doors on the high school cafeteria. They're all automatic. That's been a huge safety concern. It's been a great upgrade for them. We've added generators, which helps district-wide with just keeping food when we have power outages and things of that nature. So we are actually now finally within 3 months expense. It's taken a long time to get there, but that's where our balance is now. So we're appropriating the 325, 542, 23.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Dombrowski?
Who says they can't keep the money in reserves?
The state, PDOE.
Why?
So I can look into it a little bit further. Again, I think it's tough because so many school divisions actually don't have school nutrition departments that actually are running well. And oftentimes we have to cover that through the general fund. New Kent has not had to do that. At least since I've been here, they haven't, and they've run their program very well. And we're very proud of them. So I'm assuming they will continue to run their program that way. But again, if we have another great year, we're gonna have to have a plan to spend that balance down every time.
Can you spend it on like outside charity, like to provide food?
Not really.
Not.
We have done some different things. They are allowed to spend it obviously on equipment. They can put the money back into their staff. So we have been able to do needed raises for that staff and departments over the years, bonus payments. They do run pretty lean. So we do try to do some things like that. But mainly it's upkeep of equipment, supplies, repair, replacement, and major equipment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else? Thank you, Ms. Morkheim.
The other side of that is also with our general fund. If you remember, we had all-in implementation funds that we had received in prior years. We have 3 years to spend that money. So this year we spent $346,224.41. So we have a balance of $208,905 for next year. We're also have a school security equipment program, money that was received right at the end of June and that we spent this year. So we're appropriating that balance as well. And then the COPS Violence Prevention Program grant we had received also in FY24. So that was spent this year. At the bottom, you'll see a couple of grants. The Title I, I believe, was additional expenses through carryover that we had within that grant. The school-based mental health, that is one grant that we have that is not a fiscal year grant. It's a calendar grant, so it runs from January to December. So we changed around how we manage that grant a little bit different this year with Christine's leadership. Thank you. And also we received another portion of a school safety and security grant that came in right at the end of June of last year. So we worked with Mr. Hoffman and we spent that. So those are the remaining balances. Any questions on any of those?
Is this the capital improvement fund right here?
No.
Is that next?
This isn't, this is really our general fund.
Okay.
And our grant fund.
Okay.
So all general operating budget funding. So I'm really trying to trick you tonight, Ms. Dombrowski, because the next item is a transfer from the CIP fund to the general fund. So with this transfer, every year we go through a process with the county to look at projects that we have in our CIP that are completed. And we sit down with them and we look at the balances that are remaining. And we tell them either this project is complete or we need to carry forward that money to do further work on that capital improvement project. So this particular project that we had, the high school Wi-Fi refresh, the project was completed. So there was funding available, 114 $829. We could have transferred that back into our balance, but we decided that we wanted to do something with that funding in the current year. So in lieu of waiting until next July 1 and putting this request and what you'll see shortly with Mr. Hockman's request, we're asking the county to transfer that balance now into our general fund. And the reason is that we want to move forward with the TV replacement at our high school. Most of that money would go to that project. A little bit would go to additional TVs in the elementary schools. Just from when we gave them TVs, we've grown. We have a few more teachers now. And then the balance would go to start the middle school project.
And Handy calls them TVs, they're interactive panels that look, so it replaces the whole smart board. We don't need projectors anymore, so it'll help us almost get to where every teacher has one now. So it'll help us finish it, thanks to Sean's work with E-rate, and just the transferring it into this piece.
You will see a request in the CIP still for these types of needs in technology. And our goal is to really get a set amount of dollars annually in Mr. Terry's budget that he can use for refreshment of all of this type of equipment. You know, some of this stuff we did with COVID money, with grants that we had received. So we're really trying to get to a cycle of where we're building this into our general fund. So this is just one step towards that. Does that make sense?
Mr. Chair.
Mr. Ball.
Are we replacing, because we don't have the interactive systems at Quentin Elementary, if I remember correctly?
That's correct.
So are we replacing those projectors
No,
with?
we are not.
We will at some point, they're not at end of life. So when they get to that point, we will be replacing them with this technology.
What is, do we know what an end of life is for a projector system? And
I was
Yeah,
wondering
so-
that myself.
So our new projectors at Quentin are laser projectors. You don't replace the bulbs on them. So when the hours kind of run out on them, they're a disposable device. So our goal would be, as those devices go, and we've had one go already, we replace that with a TV or an interactive panel on a balance box. We're not investing back in that full wired infrastructure.
Right.
You know, because I can roll a TV in and the teacher's back in business like that.
Sure.
Projector goes down, we've got to send a technician out, pull it out of the roof, interrupt classroom instruction. So we're going to this balance step. But the life of those Quentin projectors, they're 4.5 years old. So we're not going to wholesale swap out those, but in Watkins, where we've got new classrooms that have been created, we need to bring TVs in for those teachers as well. The high school has projectors that were bought in 2006. So they are very much at the end of life, to the point we can't even buy bulbs for them anymore. So rather than replacing those projectors with more projectors, we want to finish out the high school with the TVs or the interactive panels. And so we've got about 20 of those we need there. And we've got about 20 we need at the middle school, and about 7 or 8 that we need to backfill elementary. Because when we purchased those, we didn't fill every classroom. We provided every teacher in the building with one. So as we've grown in those classrooms at those schools, I need to backfill some TVs there, or interactive panels there as well.
So the interactive panels, there's no discount for buying more and replacing them rather than?
Wait, that's, the timing on this is related to.
Yes, so up until the new year, we get a buy 9, get 1 free deal. And when we bought the TVs during COVID, the whole unit was about $5,800 for everything, including the articulating stand and the TV and the device that you can cast to it. I can get that for $3,500 per unit right now, and that doesn't count the 1 free that we get every 9 we buy. So my goal is to use this money to maximize, to buy as many of these panels as we can. So to your point, if we could get enough to get to where we could put some at Quentin, because they're dying to have some as well.
Sure.
We would do that, but I don't think this is going to get us quite to that finish line.
Okay.
I think this will get us very close.
Fair enough.
But, you know, and you'll see later tonight, there is a CIP request for some more technology infrastructure. That would be part of
what we would be using those funds for, is to backfill our classroom infrastructure with the same that all the other classrooms have.
Fair enough. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you, Mr. Terry.
if I
Mr.
can just
Brasky.
ask real quickly, what is the longevity of the interactive panels?
6 to 8 years.
Is that longer than the other?
Well, so with the older projectors, you could replace bulbs, but that's an expense, you know, and so.
And those bulbs got real expensive.
Absolutely, absolutely.
The panel technology is gonna get cheaper every year.
It's one of the
Yeah,
only things that gets cheaper.
Yeah,
Everything else is getting more expensive.
Everything else has gotten more expensive, but TVs and interactive
This is-
panels, the
this is-
prices are going
This
down.
is a no-brainer.
So, thank you.
Thank you.
I remember when overhead projectors were all the rage. And the kids
You're
loved
showing your
coming
age.
up and
So I was
writing
an
on them
early
and everything.
adopter of projector technology before big screen TVs, and trust me, the bulbs are expensive.
Yeah.
All right, anyone else?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan.
Thank you.
Mr. Hockman, fiscal year 27 capital improvement plan, sir.
The board members, as he's coming to the podium, this is our first pass at it. We will talk about this a couple more times as a team, but also jointly with the board of supervisors in November. So this is our current thinking where we are with capital improvement plan.
Mr. Chair, Vice Chair, members of the board, Dr. Nichols, as you are aware, I'll be talking about capital improvement planning this evening. So why we plan for capital improvements. So just a real quick breakdown of what we're trying to do. Number one, safe, reliable facilities for all our students and staff. Capital planning ensures that our critical systems such as HVAC, lighting, fire alarms, security, technology are maintained, replaced, or upgraded prior to failure. So that's really important. Protecting community investments in our schools. So by maintaining our schools proactively, the division avoids the high cost of deferred maintenance, which can get very expected and is unplanned for. Supporting instructional needs and growth. So our capital projects also address enrollment, growth, shifting demographics, ensuring adequate classroom capacity for all of our students across all of our schools. And finally, ensuring fiscal responsibility with our taxpayers. Capital improvement reduces long-term operating costs by investing in energy-efficient systems, durable materials, and sustainable design. So that is why we do capital improvement planning. For alignment, we start off, it aligns directly to our strategic goals. Goal 1, student achievement, basically safe, modern learning environments, access to 21st century learning tools, specialized instructional places, and healthy environments. Our kids need to breathe fresh air and feel good about themselves. Recruitment and retention, we need competitive facilities so that staff are more likely to join us, and we know that research shows that that is important. Morale and pride, also a clean, modern working facility is what all of our students and community wants to have, and also attractive to families. If people are shopping where they want to go to school, they're going to look at the condition of their school. So that's very important. And finally, organizational efficiency and effectiveness, life cycle cost savings. So what we know is replacing outdated systems with newer, more efficient systems saves us a lot of money, and it also helps us to avoid unplanned breakdowns in equipment, which can be very expensive, and we have to ask for transfers of money, which may or may not be available. So a quick facility snapshot of what we have. We have a wide range of schools in terms of age. New Kent Elementary School was built in 1973. George Watkins has had multiple years of building and additions in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. As we know, our newest school, Quinton, was opened up in 2022. New Kent Middle School opened up in 1988. And New Kent High School, which I know looks like a brand new shining building, is closing in on 20 years old. So it is not a new school any longer. We have a lot of high need systems across our schools. Roofs, HVAC, lighting, ceilings, and also you're going to want to throw in there electrical and plumbing if we're looking at New Kent Elementary School. One of the things that we are going to be coming to you for in the near future is we're going to request a transfer to have what is called a facility condition assessment done. And basically this will be an evaluation of the current status of all of our school buildings and what we need to do to keep them up to date. Our plan with capital improvement planning is to know exactly what we need moving forward. We need to know the lifespan of each system that we have, when we need to replace it. So going back to having an efficient plan, we sometimes may need to replace something prior to catastrophically dying on us in a building. So that is being smart with facility planning. Also, New Kent Elementary School, and you see the question mark. What are we going to do? We're going to build a new school. We're going to do a major renovation. We're going to need to do something, and I'll address that a little bit later. And finally, we'd have classroom space needed at GW and New Kent Middle School. What we do know is if we're going to have more kids coming into school, we're going to be reaching capacity. So we need to be prepared for that prior to those students arriving. We looked at student numbers earlier. We do not want to get to the top end of that. That is very important for us in terms of retaining teachers, that we are at a very good student-teacher ratio number. So we're going to talk a little bit in a minute about what we need to do with GW and New Kent Middle School in terms of growth. We feel very good about what we have done in the past with CIP funds. We've been able to complete a lot of big projects. We went ahead and provided and put in LED lighting across the whole division. That is a huge energy savings. It also helps with maintenance because we're not replacing light bulbs so often. The LED obviously lasts a lot longer. Transportation office addition, we've done one. We're getting ready to do another one as a result of last year's CIP. We are going to be out of space at our transportation building if we continue to grow. As more people move into the county, we need more support staff to provide for those folks. So we are maxed out at transportation. So if you're looking for a job at transportation, we don't have the space for you. So also the HVAC weight room is listed as completed. We're getting ready to start that. We're adding that to our weight room. If you have been in there in the summer, it is really hot. So, you know, when I was a kid, I think they wanted it that way. Now we want kids to be comfortable while they're lifting. So we're going to be working on that. We are very proud about phase 1 athletic stadium completion. The track had the lines painted yesterday. It was officially open today, and it was beautiful before, and it's even more beautiful now. It looks really good. And obviously the field has been fantastic. Everybody's enjoying playing on it, and it really has made a huge impact on our field hockey program. They are now playing on a very competitive field, which will allow them to be more prepared for regionals, because most of the teams we compete with practice and play on turf fields. That is something that they were unable to do, and now the speed of the game, which has picked up, they'll be used to that. Tennis court upgrade, we are just completed that today. We got a little bit of more work to potentially do on that in the future, and you will hear about that in future CIPs. Lots of safety and security measures across all of our schools, and we upgraded our pump island at the transportation office. The concrete was cracking, and it was needed a major renovation, and we were able to do that. So it looks really nice. So these are some of the recently completed projects that we were able to do. I'm getting ready to go into sort of what our CIP requests are this year. I've really put them into 3 tiers. Tier 1 being critical needs. And what we're talking about is compliance, failing systems, and transportation. We want to make sure every student and all staff are in a very safe building, which has all of the needs that they need to do their job and that children can learn. That includes things like fire alarms, roofs, HVAC, being ADA compliant, that sort of thing. We want to make sure also that they are operational by replacing, as I said earlier, failing systems before they completely die. So that is something that we're really trying to get smart with how we plan in the future. Tier 2 will be about capacity, modernization, and growth. We're going to need to expand facilities to meet our enrollment growth and to avoid overcrowding. Also updates to instructional spaces to support 21st century teaching and learning. And finally, athletic enhancements, improving the student experience and school pride through well-maintained athletic facilities. This will support recruitment and retention by offering competitive programs for our families. All right, so Tier 1, I've broken Tier 1 into 2 different areas. First one's transportation. We're going to be requesting 3 buses this year at a total of about $529,000. It comes out to about $176,000 per bus. That is up substantially from a couple of years ago when we were about $138,000 per bus. We also were going to be requesting 1 Minotaur bus, which is a smaller bus. We have some kids that are on a daily basis going a little farther distance with very few kids on the bus. This helps for gas and efficiencies that way. That bus is about $128,000. And we're also going to be requesting 2 new school vehicles, 1 car and 1 van at $95,000. That is to support our children that are going to different places all over the region and need special transportation for that. The total for transportation comes out to $752,850.20.
And board members, just to remember, those buses are on a replacement cycle, so when you see 3, that's because we have 3 that are aging out of the fleet due to mileage and or inability to be repaired, damaged, those type things.
We replace buses based on mileage and age. So we try to, and Mr. Hens does a great job, and we rotate routes so that buses don't get too many miles on them prior to them being too old to really keep on the road. So the second part of tier 1 is general operations. We need to start replacing the fan coil units at George Watkins Elementary. This will be at a cost of about $415,000 this year. That will be something you see on the CIP over a number of years so that we can finalize that project. We also need to replace the water source heat pumps at New Kent High School. So that also will be on here for several years in a row at a cost of about $117,000 per year. And then we will also going to finish up. This will be the last year of the high school roof replacement. You'll notice that's about half of what we requested in the past. With $240,000, we'll finish that job, and you will not see high school roof replacement probably for about 20 years if you're still serving on here. So rooftop HVAC replacement at the high school, that is a rounded number. We are finalizing that. We are going to replace 2 a year over 5 years. And there we are finishing the engineering on what we need. So that number is a roundabout high-end estimate. But after we finalize that, that will be the number we go with for the next couple of years. We're replacing 2 this year, and then there will be 8 more to replace over the next 4 years. And finally, you'll see that it is highlighted with yellow TBD. New Kent Middle School switchgear repair replacement, that is on here. That system, the switchgear, needs to be replaced now. As you know, CIP money becomes available to us potentially in July 1. We need to go ahead and start looking at replacing that ASAP. We will be coming before you here in the near future to potentially request a transfer so that we do not have catastrophic failure with our switchgear at the middle school. So that is coming. Tim Pollock, who's our director of maintenance, is working on that. Whether it's going to be a fix or is it going to be a complete replacement, we're working on, but that is an original piece of equipment from 1988. So it is time to replace that.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. Dombrowski.
just a real quick question. What is a switchgear?
What is switchgear? So when power comes in from Dominion Power, it comes into a building and then it gets redistributed out. That is where it comes into the building. So it's very important that that be monitored and safe, and so that we don't have any issues. And it's not to where it's not safe right now, but we need to be replacing that in the near future. So great question.
Mr. Chair, I'm curious, what happens to the old buses? Do you sell them?
We do.
For profit?
If you're out behind the high school, we have 6 or 7 out there. We put them up through auction. We use Ms. Morgan helps us with that. We auction them off, and then we get a little bit of money back for those, and that's reinvested into the school.
And board members, that will always come before you because it is a sale. So you will see when we're doing it, you actually you will vote on it as well. So we don't get a ton for them, but we do.
Yeah, well, obviously we can't sell one to you, unfortunately, if you're looking to buy a bus. So as an employee.
Tiny house.
Tiny house, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, as I'm getting going here, you're gonna see some highlights with the letters GF next to it. For all of those on this page, and there's a couple more, these are currently on the capital plan, but we have talked about, and Ms. Morgan and I have talked and met with the county, we would like to move those to our general fund. So we're requesting it here because it hasn't been moved yet, but we would love to have these on the other side. So we're going to request some paving and striping of $100,000. We need a new trailer ramp at New Kent Elementary School. We've replaced one. We need to replace the other one. Roof maintenance, $35,000. HVAC maintenance, $150,000, and painting in the amount of $50,000. So for the general operations, tier 1, that total, and remember that does not include the switchgear, comes out to $2,326,914.
And board members, just a little rationale on the general fund. If it is regular maintenance that we're going to do, it really should live in the general fund, our operating fund.
And we also have to report to the state capital money that is, or capital projects done in the general fund. The county traditionally has had more money on the capital side, so our maintenance projects have lived on the capital side. At some point, it'd be best practice to have it in operating. So what that point is, we'll have to figure that out, but it is our effort to get it where it should be.
Mr. Chairman. How many years out do you have this business plan go out for?
So what we're working, I mentioned earlier, a facility condition assessment.
Yes.
So right now, this is a one-year plan. A couple of those I said we do over 5 years. When we have completed the facility condition assessment, it will be 5 and 10 out.
Okay, and and that was the second piece that I was going to ask about with the facility assessment. Are you going to do those periodically?
What it does, we would have to pay for that, and that's an outside source
And
that
I
does
was
that,
gonna
but it's
ask
very
if
much
that
more,
was gonna
we
be
would
my
have to,
third question.
we would have to do that, absolutely. It
And
wouldn't
how
be an
much do you-
annual thing.
So you can have a contract and do it annually?
I don't know that you would need that.
Yeah, once we have the assessment in year one, Mr. Reimer will work through what we need to replace, but in 3-5 years, we may need to do the assessment again.
And so what I would like to see is where there are no critical needs.
That's what we're working towards. And one thing that the facility condition assessment will also give us, let's say we buy a brand new HVAC system for New Kent Elementary School. Going in, we would know the life expectancy is 20 years, so we work our way out. So when you're
Exactly. It bothers
15.
me that their switchgear needs replacing right now.
Correct.
I'm just saying.
Oh, I agree with you. Yep. All right. So that was the total for general. Now for instructional, which is tier 2, replacement furniture, $100,000. That's also, you'll note it as GF, or we would like to move that to the general fund. IT infrastructure, and you heard Mr. Terry talking a little bit earlier, to support our network infrastructure, access points, switches, routers, TVs perhaps. The instructional amount would be $260,000. At the bottom, we have 3 lines that are highlighted in yellow: classrooms at New Kent Middle School, classrooms at GW. We are getting a cost from our architectural and engineering company that we work with. Most recent amount given to us was $3,500,000 for those. That will be an updated number coming soon. We should have that. We're working with them. And then obviously New Kent Elementary School is still on there. The last cost we had was around $58 million for a new build. Those 3 are not included in our total here though, just so you're aware when I give you the final number.
And board members, so New Kent Elementary, the board has been united on, we need a new school, right? So that's that piece. George Watkins, so we do have those trailers out back that we're currently not in. That 10 classroom addition would allow you to do a 4th and 5th grade class wing, basically, or annex with bathrooms there. So one of the problematic things with the trailers is none of them have bathrooms. So kids are having to come back in and those pieces. So what we'd like to do for future capacity is build a 10 classroom annex there, right off the back where those trailers are. And then we feel like we're in really good shape capacity wise for George Watkins, like feel really good going down the road. Now, New Kent Middle School, what you see there is really that same thing, a 10 classroom addition. Now where that goes, there are a couple options with that, but I think there needs to be further discussion on, is that the right route to go for the middle school? Is expansion what the board wants to do? Or are we looking broader? And do we need to look at 2 middle schools or a bigger middle school or some sort of, I think that is the part that's a little gray that we need better clarity on. I think we can do an addition, we can make that work, we can build in more capacity. That's a couple hundred more kids, but they're still going to that same cafeteria. And it's still that same bus loop and all those pieces.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Reimer.
So I totally agree that discussion needs to be had. We need to do a lot of, I would prefer to have that after we have the New Kent Elementary School decision settled. But at the same time, I think we need to do a lot of preparatory work as we advance towards those next decisions.
So I agree that New Kent Elementary is the sense of urgency on the project. New Kent Middle School, your bubble is coming out of there. You have 310 8th graders that are moving on to it is getting replaced by 260 kids. So we're gonna go down a little bit there. So we have a little more time to get that together and make a decision piece there.
But it should be part of a
Yes, sir.
multi-year plan.
Absolutely.
Mr. Chair, I do have a question.
It's going forward.
What is part of instructional needs with the $260,000?
The replacement furniture and the IT infrastructure.
Oh, okay, so those, okay,
Yes. Yep.
I see.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And the replacement furniture, Ms. Cooney, is classroom furniture.
That's what I
Desk and
figured.
chairs and-
Yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah.
I apologize. I
Desk,
didn't see
chairs.
the number there. Yeah.
All right, so then we move on to athletics. We'd like to replace, we have backboards at the middle school that are not of the glass variety. So we would like, we did that, if we're doing that at the high school, we'd like to do that at the middle school as well. Automation, so right now, if we have an event in the middle school gym where you need to put the baskets up,
Mhm.
it's a hand crank and it's really high and it's hard to do. We'd like to provide some automation to that. So it takes about an hour right now to crank all 6 of those backboards up. It's not efficient. And I don't think it's the way we want to do things. So we're going to look to automate those. The gym floor at the middle school, we need to do an upgrade to that, similar to what we did at the high school, making it pop with school colors and making sure it looks good. Practice fields behind the high school. We have 7 practice fields behind the high school. In year 1 of this, and this would be probably over 7 years, we are going to start to upgrade each field one at a time, which would include fencing around the field, irrigation, which requires some electrical. And then what we would do is every year, this cost would go down probably by about half. We would start to work on each of those fields, working our way around to provide adequate practice facilities for our teams. And then finally, with athletics on there, and once again, you'll see that that is highlighted in yellow. Phase 2 of the athletics renovation, entryway, bathroom, concession, locker rooms, storage, and also we're going to add to that lighting for our baseball and softball complex. That number, we have someone working on that, once again, with our architectural and engineering firm. They're going to provide a more detailed number for us for that next step, potentially doing it all at one time, and if not, sort of piecemealing it as we can. Total for athletics, not including phase 2 of the athletic renovation, $407,796. All right, there's your quick rundown of your CIP totals. This year coming in at the end, $3,747,560.20. It's about 800,000 less than what we requested last year, but there's a few items on there, obviously, that I talked about and that were highlighted in yellow that are not included.
So, Mr. Hockman, you talked about capacity improvements. Have you talked with the county planners? And with regard to their estimates about how much this county is going to grow during the period that you're planning?
I was involved in a committee about a year ago, maybe a little longer, but honestly, Dr. Nichols and Rodney Hathaway have had most of those conversations, so I'll defer to Dr. Nichols.
Yes, sir. So we continue the conversation with projects that were approved quite some time ago that are starting to come on board, and then new projects that will be maybe coming before the.
Have we discussed the accuracy of those growth projections?
The accuracy of them? Yes, we have. So
And have we suggested different models?
No, sir. That may be out of my wheelhouse, but I can get some help with that. As far as projecting enrollment.
Yes.
Related to housing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we work on projecting enrollment in general, based on live births and those different pieces, but Haney does an incredible job of estimating, and it is really close. But Airport Road right now, I think there's 125, 190 houses that are coming in, and that's a GW.
Yes.
So, and there's conversation about other large scale neighborhoods that may or may not be coming and where those go. So yes,
And
that is
historically compare what their estimates have been versus what we have actually had to host capacity for.
Yes. Yeah, an example I always use are those townhomes that we didn't think we were getting kids in, and we have a lot of kids coming out of the townhomes. So right there by Trojan Grove.
Mr. Hockman, I have a spin-off question from that. So the 210 classroom models, if that were to be a project that we do and move forward with. What is and I realize it's just an estimate, but how long do you think that addresses capacity for us at those two schools? I mean, we talking 5 years, 10 years? We don't really know.
10 classrooms is about 25 kids a class at a middle school. So that's 250 kids. So if we start looking at the projected enrollment divided by 13, I think, I saw an article in the paper where in 20 years, we potentially are doubling our population in New Kent. So that would, if that number is true, wouldn't hold up to that to 20 years. But I think it would get us definitely through 5 to 7. Dr. Nichols, you've been on a lot of those conversations as well.
I think that the 10 classroom addition at George Watkins at the current rate of growth and even building some in gets you past that 10-year mark. So feel really good about that one. The middle school really is going to come back down to the common spaces and managing the traffic. As you know, we have a challenge every morning and every afternoon getting thousands of people in and out of here. So, just bringing that back in. We have a couple places we could put it. But at the same time, we still got to funnel it through the cafeteria. So, and through the gym.
And there's also the transportation aspect to this
Right.
too, because we have a huge bottleneck right now on 249 in Egypt Road.
Yeah, we would love to move something closer to GW if we had our wish.
2 points of clarification. The buses and vehicle acquisitions, those are all new.
Yes.
Yep. And then the 1.2 million for the HVAC, that's per year, or is that the number spread out over 5?
No, that would be it's a rough estimate, but that would be repeated we have 10 units, that would be to replace 2.
Got it.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else have any questions?
Like I said, board members, this will come back before you a couple times and you have conversations related to the desired direction of the board.
Thanks, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman.
All right, board, we are moving on to school board goals and review. We kind of just hit on some of this, but Dr. Nichols, Project New Kent Elementary School, sir.
Yes, sir. I mean, you saw it in part of the capital improvement plan. It's still our #1 priority, and we stand ready. And we have a joint meeting, I believe November 7th, between both boards, where Haney and I are planning on that being conversation #1. So looking to get momentum there. And then the strategic plan, Ross is actually going to be coming up in just a second to give you the accountability accreditation update, which really is goal 1. So for the second month in a row, I'm going to let him take the lead on strategic planning for me. And that's I don't think you have any policy reviews and revisions today.
That's correct. No policy reviews, no items for the vote of consideration. Rolling on, Mr. Miller.
Great. All right. Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Nichols, tonight I wanted to give you a preview of some information that is going to be coming from VDOE. We anticipate next week publicly. And so we're going to give you some preliminary numbers, some projections that we're working through with VDOE to verify and validate before it goes public and make sure that it's all accurate. So I wanted to just give you a preview of that. So before I do, I wanted to remind you of the structure of the new school performance and support framework. This is a new structure that VDOE has put in place for starting this year. It's our first time actually utilizing it to measure school performance. And what it does is it separates out, previously our accreditation included the performance scores as well as all the sort of standards of accreditation that we have to follow. Some of which I mentioned earlier with standards of quality, class sizes, things like that. So our performance is set separately and is meant for a way to grade schools and to compare them across the state with how they're performing on a variety of different measures. And so at elementary and middle, you have growth, readiness, and mastery, whereas in high school, you're looking at graduation, readiness, and mastery. Mastery is basically SOL test scores is what you're looking at. Growth is how students are growing year to year. And then readiness is how prepared they're getting towards graduation and post-graduation. So I'm going to go over those in a second as to how those break down. But once a school's growth, readiness, mastery, graduation is all calculated, we are assigned an overall grade, and that overall grade is then basically we're given a summative label category, which I'll go over in a minute. And then from that, it determined our level of support that we will receive from the state as needed to make things go up. So, and as you can see down the right-hand side, sort of performance calculation is overall look at how we're doing on standardized assessment and things like that. Then we have our designations, and then we have our supports.
And I do want to say, board, this was the state's effort to make things clearer and more transparent. So
Typical.
you can grade that as you wish.
If we go to the next one. So I want to go through each of the different models just very briefly to refresh your memory. I did this last fall as well when this information first came out. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this initial piece, and then we'll get to the projections. So at the elementary level, when you're looking at mastery, you're looking at their SOL scores, and for reading, math, and science, and then also progress towards proficiency by our English language learners. You'll see when we get to our projections, none of the English language proficiency for us is counted. If you have less than 15 students at a school in a subgroup like that, then they don't count, and those 10% get redistributed to other categories. The growth counts for 25%, and that's in reading and math. And then readiness at the elementary level is calculated by chronic absenteeism, and it counts 10% of our overall score. If you add all of that up, it comes out to be 100. And so like a grade that you would be assigning a class in school, it will be basically assign a grade out of 100. So at the middle level, it shifts a little bit. We jump to the middle. All right. At the middle, it jumps a little bit. So mastery drops to 60%, same indicators. Growth jumps to 10%, and then readiness jumps to 20% with the addition of one indicator in there of advanced coursework. How that works is if a student scores past advanced on their SOL 1 year, the expectation is they're in an advanced course the next year. And so they take a look at, did you score past advanced? What percentage of your students of those students are now in advanced coursework? And that's how that's determined as to whether or not you're going to get your 10% for advanced coursework.
And Ross, that's really only in math?
That's really only in math at this point, yes. High school performance changes more significantly. So mastery drops to 50%. Is what they're looking at. Readiness jumps to 35%, and categories there shift towards the addition of a 6-year extended year graduation rate with applied studies. What that means is we take a look at all students that matriculate in. So let's go back. So like for this year, 2026, well, the data we're going to look at is for graduating class of 2025. That looks at the graduating class of 2023 and looks at do all of those students, what percentage of those students have graduated at this point, and that includes applied studies, which are federal graduation rate at the bottom does not include an applied studies diploma. So this applies for like students with disabilities have the opportunity to stay extra years, have all of those graduated. And every now and then you'll have students who are considered sliders, which means they slide a year. And so I have all those students graduated. The big addition here, though, is the Readiness for Life 3E framework. And so remind you that looks at how well are we preparing students for enrollment, employment, or enlistment, and based on some different indicators by the state. So in enrollment, so this you get points for students who earn their associate's degree. You get points for students who take dual enrollment classes or AP classes. For employment, these are students who are earning or completers in CTE. So they've taken 2 courses of a sequence within the same CTE area and have earned a credential and taken place in a work-based learning opportunity. So to get full credit for those students, they have to do all 3 of those. For enlistment, it's all based on the student's score on the ASVAB assessment. And so then we get points for all students across that, and those get added all up, and they count 25% of our total grade for the high school. And then the last category for high school that's new is graduation. It counts 15%. It's a look at the federal graduation indicator. The federal government does not recognize things like a GED. They do not recognize the applied studies diploma. And so this is students who get an advanced or a standard diploma. So so then all that gets added up, yeah, jump to the designations. So all that gets added up and there's 4 categories. So the top category is for anyone who is getting 90 points or above, which is the distinguished category. These are schools that are exceeding the state's expectations for achievement, growth, readiness, and graduation, and they're to be considered models for the rest of the state. On track is 80 to 89 points. So these are all that are meeting the state's expectation, and are receiving, in the state's eyes, sufficient support to be able to meet those. Off track means they're not meeting the expectation and they need additional support. Needs intensive support, so below 65 points are those that are in significant need of help and will have significant support provided to them. So the next slides are all projections of where we believe each school will land. I have put on here the percent of points that we expect them to get out of each of those categories. You'll see some odd numbers on here, like over 100%. That is because if you have a certain number of students that get a pass advanced score gets you more than a whole student. You get a 1.25 for those students. So that's why we have, in some areas, it would look as though we have over 100% pass rate, which a month or 2 ago, I gave a presentation. So obviously we don't have over 100% pass rate, but we do have a high percentage of students or a good number of students getting a pass advanced. And so that's why it counteracts students who aren't successful by giving us an extra quarter of a student for each one of those. As you can see, when you basically take the percentage of points that we expect to earn with the points possible, then we have a score for each of those. You add all that up, it comes to a 94.28, which puts that would put George Watkins in as a distinguished school this year. We do expect that to hold. Like I said, we've been going back and forth with the state on some numbers. This is as of last Wednesday. There's already been some shifting around, but those numbers are pretty close to where we're at today. New Kent Elementary School. Here, again, the numbers, again, you take your percentage points, most possible points possible. There, we do anticipate New Kent Elementary School being just under the 90 at 88.72 at that point. We expect them right around 89, which would have them on track just under the point for distinguished.
Mr. Mueller, I just have a point of clarification. The score at the end versus possible points, that's not, is there a mathematical process between the percentage and the possible points? Because
you multiply the percentage of points by the points possible, and that gives you the score on the right.
Okay, because I was confusing. It seemed like reading growth and math growth were considerably lower than the other categories, and I was confused by that.
Yeah.
Less points there.
Take it.
Okay.
Yeah, there's less points. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Clinton Elementary School, again, when you
Number's not right.
that number's not right. That is the Watkins number. The Clinton number is 90.35 at that point. So we do anticipate them being distinguished. But I need to correct that number in the presentation. But it's closer to the 90. You get middle school. Again, we expect them, when you add all those numbers up, it's an 88.42. We expect it to be about an 88 grade score. Again, just under the 90 that we're looking for distinguished, but still on track. And then lastly, the high school. Yeah, there we go. We're anticipating them coming in at 93.43 and being a distinguished school. Before you jump there real quick, actually, yeah, go ahead and do a question. One of the things that is not in here, and we're still working on calculating, the state hasn't provided basically where we would land there is some comparison that takes place at the final level once all scores are done on the subgroups. Those aren't, basically they aren't a part of the scoring until you get to the very end. And your lowest percentage there's a whole bunch of mathematics that goes into it, but basically your lowest performing schools, if their overall score, if your subgroup score for a subgroup is below their overall score, for their whole population, then it could degrade basically your status to one status lower. We don't anticipate being there on any of our subgroups, but we have yet to see sort of what that number's gonna be, so. This, again, I do want to just caution, these are all projections. We have yet to get the final number from the state. We expect that in the next couple of days. It is expected to be released to the public sometime around next Thursday or Friday. I believe Friday is the actual date that they're anticipating, but I'll say the SWL scores we anticipated to be about a week later, and they were presented by the state. So, but we anticipate it being someday.
And board members, you tend to get history questions. We do incredibly well in history. We test in history, elementary, middle, high. It is not part of this. That is not our decision. We still do it. It just doesn't factor in. We wish it would, because we have some distinguished history scores there, but just in case you get that question, well, you have the response.
I do have one more question, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Cunha.
As in the area of readiness, if we're looking ahead and we want to always improve, where do you think our focus should be to bring that?
So some of the work that we're doing at the high school already in that, one of the ways that is not a big step, I'll start with the small steps, is we are now ASVAB testing all students. And starting their junior year, all students will take the ASVAB, not just for this purpose. The ASVAB actually provides quite a bit of career information for us. And they have a great interface that we can put our students on to gain career exploration information based on their ASVAB score. And so they can then look at, okay, so proficiency wise to the ASVAB, what in the military, but what outside the military has both that are things that they might want to look at. So we're going to use that information for that. That's one step. We're also taking a look at our CTE offerings. That is a bigger step, and looking at how are we basically aligning our pathways, both middle and high, to identify students early what career paths they want to go in, and make sure we're providing coursework in that career path, and aligning all of our CTE pathways so that they are completers and have credentials assigned to them. And that's a bigger lift, but one that we feel is both will help us here, but also helps the student much more. Because we want our students graduating with credentials that are recognized in the industry, not just a credential. And so we're also looking at that of, like, right now we've met with economic development. Some of the things coming in, as you've seen, are logistics and manufacturing. So we want to look at our logistics and manufacturing pathways. We don't currently have something with logistics. We have an engineering pathway that hits some of the manufacturing, but we want to strengthen those in the future and look at how we can bring more programs that align with those basically industry needs. So that will help. We're also taking a look at our prep work for our AP and dual enrollment courses, and taking a look at the rigor of those prep courses, and looking at different programs that we put in place to help students who are looking at more the enrollment pathway and strengthening those pathways so that we're ready for dual enrollment and AP courses, and
So-
increasing the number of dual enrollment AP courses we offer.
So obviously there's going to be a cost to all of this
There
that we
is.
have to keep in mind as we're weighing in all these other decisions.
Yes,
And that number, that dollar amount is, well,
we're not sure yet.
right.
Yes.
Well, and we'd like to achieve with this, I think that's a great point question, Ms. Cunha. I think we can also achieve some efficiency with our course offerings, which could offset some of that related to cost.
So part of that alignment piece, like within the CTE department, making sure we have a completer in every area. Part of that may mean that we need to make some hard decisions on some current pathways that maybe we aren't having good, basically participation in, or don't lead to a completer sequence, or don't lead to an industry that we have in the area that really students would benefit.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else?
I have a quick question. You
Mr.
mentioned a
Brusky.
slider. What's the
Sorry,
slider?
in graduation world, you have students are expected to graduate in 4 years. So if they are freshmen who just stepped in 2025, so in 2028, 25, 2029, they're expected to graduate. That is a 4-year graduate. However, if for some reason they stay for a 5th year, they become a slider. They don't count as much, but they do still give us some points towards our graduation index.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, next item, Dr. Nichols, school board calendar.
Oh, yes, sir. This is pretty quick. Just we have some adjustments, board members. So anytime we change the calendar, we have to share that. We're here today. We are not having a work session on the 21st. We have a joint budget retreat with the board of supervisors on the 7th. Time and location, I just got that this morning. So I believe it's 9 a.m. At Providence Forge Force Center, but we'll make sure you have that. Tuesday, the 11th is our regularly scheduled board meeting. Instead of the 21st work session, we have a work session on November 17th. So the two in red that you see are the adjustments related to the calendar board members. So I do believe that comes to you with action later this evening. So
Correct. Anybody have any questions? All right. The item that we added earlier this evening at the start of our meeting is now up. Ms. Dombrowski, Victims of Communism Memorial Day. If you want to explain again, or perhaps read the resolution into the record that we're all going to consider.
Okay. So on a few occasions, I brought forth this resolution, which I found on the Civics Alliance website, and it was something that I really felt important about. And so I brought it to the school board. And as previously mentioned, I had the approval given at the last school board meeting to bring it forward, or to take the time to meet and discuss the curriculum aspect of it. And I want to thank Mr. Miller and Jamie Hutchinson, who provided me with their time. I thought we had a really great meeting. I learned a lot. And in light of the recently released history and social studies standards, specifically as they relate to communism, I have, as I mentioned, decided to withdraw my previous proposal for the school board to go through the process of approving that Victims of Communism Memorial free online curriculum. That said, I do still want to consider having us consider moving forward with having the board consider adopting the Victims of Communism Memorial Day resolution, which has been revised first by removing any references to encouraging or endorsing the use of any specified curriculum. And then thanks to Mr. Pagano, he has streamlined it quite a bit and made it so it fits nicely on one page. So with permission, I'll go ahead and read it as requested.
Please.
Whereas on November 7th, 1917, Vladimir Lenin's Bolsheviks seized control of the Russian government, resulting in the world's first communist regime, and in communist parties around the world subsequently subjecting peoples from all walks of life to theft, destruction, famines, surveillance, and violent repression, destroying political, religious, economic, and scientific and artistic freedom. Whereas the people of the United States should always remember the crimes committed by communist regimes, which are still being committed today. Whereas multiple states, including Virginia, have either established or introduced bills designating November 7th as Victims of Communism Memorial Day. Whereas based on the philosophy of Karl Marx, communism is proven incompatible with the ideals of liberty, prosperity, and dignity of human life. Whereas communist regimes worldwide have killed approximately 100 million people and subjected countless others to widespread human rights abuses and robbed their own citizens of the rights of freedom of religion, freedom of speech, and freedom of association through coercion, brutality, and fear. Whereas educating our students about the history of communism and its impact on the world is essential to promoting freedom, democracy, and human rights. And Victims of Communism Memorial Day provides an opportunity for our students and communities to learn about this important part of history and to reflect on the importance of freedom and democracy. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the New Kent County School Board hereby designates November 7th as Victims of Communism Memorial Day, to be observed annually in honor and remembrance of all the victims of communism regimes, and encourages all school administrators, teachers, students, and members of our community to commemorate this day by promoting the values of freedom, democracy, and human rights. Going back to the portion about the state of Virginia having either introduced or established November 7th as Victims of Communism Memorial Day. It has been introduced in Virginia, but it has not passed. There have been a couple of years where our governor has promulgated it as a day of recognition, but it's not anything that's specific and ongoing on an annual basis. He would have to do it every year to make it an official recognition.
So should we strike that paragraph?
Well, it says
It's fair.
they have either established or introduced bills.
You're right.
Virginia has introduced a bill, which but we can remove well, it says multiple states. Some states have passed this already. We just streamlined it to include just specifically Virginia. But good question.
All right, anybody have any questions or comments?
The only other thing I wanted to add was that in meeting with Mr. Miller, I asked if it would be possible just to offer some suggestions as to what our middle and or high school could do. And obviously that's not anything they would have to do. It's just some ideas that I would send forward to him and anybody else if you have ideas.
I have a question. Does that website provide suggestions?
Well, the website is specific to the curriculum, which provides a lot of different resources. But as to whether or not those resources are appropriate, I've made Mr. Miller well aware of everything it offers, and if in his review he decides that there's something in there that is appropriate and could be utilized. But as far as advocating or requiring our schools, let me strike the advocation part. As far as requiring our schools to implement or do anything specific on this day, we are not doing that. It would just be, here are some suggestions, take them or leave them.
So I guess my question then is, where did you get the suggestions from?
My brain.
Oh. Okay.
All right, anybody else have any questions? All right, moving on. Next item is citizen comment period, but we have no signups this evening, so we are moving on to the action items. All right, do I hear a motion to approve the superintendent's advisory committees as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Reimer has the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Vaught has the second. Ms. Davis, please poll the board.
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Next action item, do I have a motion to approve the VSBA Policy Services contract renewal of the contract?
So moved.
Ms. Cunha has the motion. Do I have a second? I'm sorry.
Second, sorry.
Mr. Reimer has the second. Ms. Davis, please poll the board.
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
And Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Do I have a motion to approve fiscal year 2025 appropriation of funds as presented by Ms. Morgheim?
So moved.
All right, Ms.
Second.
Ms. Cunha has the motion. Mr. Reimer has the second. Ms. Davis, please poll the board.
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
And Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Ms. Davis, if you need us to slow down, you let me know, all right? Thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the CIP transfer for technology equipment as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Reimer has the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Dombrowski has the second. Ms.
Mr.
Davis.
Reimer.
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski.
Aye.
Ms. Cunha.
Aye.
And Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Do I have a motion to approve the school board meeting calendar updates as presented?
So moved.
Mr. Vaught has the motion. Do I have a
Second.
Ms. Cunha has the second. Ms. Davis.
Mr. Reimer.
Aye.
Mr. Vaughn.
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
and Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. And our final action item tonight, do I have a motion to approve the resolution as read into the record for the establishment of Victims of Communism Memorial Day to be recognized annually on November 7th?
So moved.
Ms. Dombrowski has the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Cunha has the second. Ms. Davis.
Mr. Reimer,
Aye.
Mr. Vaught,
Aye.
Ms. Dombrowski,
Aye.
Ms. Cunha,
Aye.
and Mr. Pagano.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. We are moving on now to our comment section. Mr. Reimer.
I just want to say thank you to Mr. Hockman and the administration for setting forward a long-term capital improvement plan. It's more than necessary, and I fully support its development, as well as when the request comes, a facilities assessor. And hopefully that we'll be able to afford to take that in for multiple years. For me, this is one of the things that it's really important. Capital, it's not just capital improvements, it's capital maintenance. It's planning for what we're going to have to deliver in terms of capacity. It fits well within our refreshment of the athletic field and our commitment to building a new elementary school. And this county is growing rapidly, and we're going to need to plan for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reimer. Mr. Vaught.
Yeah, I just want to thank Dr. Nichols, our administration. What you see transpiring in this county with student achievement, with capital improvement, building, everything that's being worked on is over the top. It's fabulous. I've never seen a more collaborative team working in unity for the good of the students and the citizens than what we have here in New Kent. I couldn't be more proud of Team New Kent and what we do when you consider the size of our county, which is obviously going to explode and is exploding. But I think that all of you have done such a fabulous job in getting the right personnel on board, appropriating funds, working through a state Department of Education that is like chasing a cat, herding cats. And yet we still come out on top every time. And as I sat and looked at these students are proud to be part of New Kent school system. And that's not always the case. And we can't underscore that. So I just want to say thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Mr. Vaught. Mr. Dombrowski.
I certainly echo those comments. It is, I've almost started just tearing up a little bit, just seeing all the amazing things that these students are doing. And then what they said, you could tell they just have a sincerity about them, and it's amazing to see. I also wanted to welcome back Mr. Vaught. We're so excited to have you here. Just to keep the board apprised, I have received the 2025 VSBA Delegate Assembly Handbook. I will be reviewing it in the next several weeks. It's only 169 pages, so I will go through it pretty quickly. My plan is to then notify each of you individually of the legislative initiatives, and that way you can get your thoughts together before we discuss them at the work session. As previously mentioned, October is recognized as Bullying Prevention Month, and I believe this provides us a really good time to reflect on the importance of fostering environments where respect, kindness, and understanding prevail. Bullying at its core is about power and control. It's an attempt to dominate others through fear and through force. And when we think about the broader implications of unchecked bullying, we can see its parallels in larger systems like communism, which has historically been one of the most destructive forms of political and economic oppression. And so it's a reminder as to why teaching our students to stand against bullying in all its forms is so critical, not just for their personal growth, but for the preservation of freedom and dignity in our society. So I really want to thank my board members for supporting this resolution and appreciate your patience through the process. Next, public service announcement. The polls are open, so don't forget to vote because nothing says that you love and care about this country like a good old trip to the ballot box. If you haven't registered, what are you waiting for? Shout out to HOCO Fest last Friday. It was wonderful, an absolute blast. The new track and field have been officially christened, and the game was incredible. One play in particular really had me on my feet. My apologies, I know I've gone on a minute, but I wanted to take some time to reflect on the many heartbreaking events that occurred in our country this past September, which serve as just horrific reminders of what division and hatred continues to exist and plague our country. Yet I know that for every dark moment we've either heard about or seen, I know that there are countless acts of kindness and goodness that are occurring every day that often go unnoticed. And I want to thank everyone, especially in New Kent, whether in our schools or throughout our community, who are choosing to live their lives with integrity and compassion. And I hope we can all commit to trying to be a little bit kinder, more respectful, and no matter where we are, whether it's at work, in the store, and especially online, instead of reacting and reaching out in anger, I hope we can pause and act and try to understand where the other person's coming from, learn from each other's perspectives, and continue to make New Kent an amazing place to live and to work.
Thank you, Mr. Dombrowski. Ms. Cunha?
Well, a lot has been said, so I'm going to keep it short. I am incredibly proud of Team New Kent. It was like a family at homecoming. And the work that went into creating the pregame events, it was just spectacular. And it really did feel like a family. So thank you for all that hard work. Thank you for all the work that you do preparing for these meetings and all that. It takes a lot of work to do all of that. So I'm incredibly proud of everyone, and I just want everyone to have a great night.
Thank you, Ms. Cunha. I echo my colleagues' comments and will also keep it short. Congratulations to all the students and Ms. Mallory who received awards and recognitions tonight. That was pretty great to see. Very impressed with Mr. Ayala as one of those students tonight. And then I want to, we generally say administration, but I want to thank Mr. Hockman, Ms. Morgheim, Ms. Miller, Ms. Anderson, Dr. Nichols, and everyone else for all the work that you do to get us prepared. These presentations I know require a lot of work. There's a lot of detail involved. You're educating us along the way, and it really helps to have that commitment and support to the school board. So thank you guys very much. Mr. Davis.
There is just one thing I just wanted to say. I'm very adamant about school spirit. I think that's easily one of the biggest factors in considering your school as a good school. I am part of our spirit squad, I'd say, as a member of the Marching Trojans. And I was at the homecoming football game. It was a really great night. And basically what I'm just trying to say is that having all these recognitions and stuff will boost school spirit and overall it just needs to be in place. Is what I mean.
It's good. Well, thank you. If you have any ideas about that, feel free to bring them to the board. And last but certainly not least, Dr. Nichols.
Yes, and thank you, board members, for your comments. I love the team I get to work with, and I think it shows. And when I say team, the folks that you see in front of you, Ms. Davis, who keeps us straight, but all 521 people who are part of this team. Like, we can't do it without the driver, the person in student nutrition, our teachers, our paras, and you name it. Tonight you got to see 3Es in action with our DECA kids. You know, this is athlete of the month, but you know, we have athletes of the month that have a 3.6 and a 3.8. Like, very few people lead the state of tackles that still are in dual enrollment and honors coursework and do it. And like Mr. Davis, I get to work with incredible people. I started and ended my day at New Kent Elementary. And you want to talk about an amazing place, Dr. Day's doing great work there, to the work that's happening at Quinton, George Watkins, and love the energy Mr. Fudge is bringing to the middle school with that incredible staff that is leading the way. And then the high school really showed off today. So it's an honor to do this work, and I thank you for the opportunity to do it. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Nichols. All right, everybody. The next meeting of the school board will be a regular meeting held on Tuesday, November 11th, here in the historic courthouse boardroom at 6 p.m. Prior to that, the closed session will begin at 5:30. Our meeting is adjourned at 7:57 p.m.